Tonight, when the sun goes down, you're going to flip a switch. Light will flood the room and you won't think twice about it. But for 99.9% of human history, that switch didn't exist. When the sun set, the world went dark. You couldn't even see your own hand in front of your face. But modern humans almost never experience this. For over 300,000 years, every single one of your ancestors spent roughly half their life in near total darkness. They didn't even have candles for most of that time, just the black sky, the stars, and whatever fire they could keep alive. So what did they actually do for all those hours? The answer changes everything we think we know about sleep, storytelling, and what it means to be human, here on Ogga. Let's start with fire, because fire is the reason any of this was possible. The earliest solid evidence of humans controlling fire comes from caves in South Africa, roughly 1 million years ago. But fire didn't just keep people warm, fire completely restructured the human day. Before fire, our ancestors were like every other primate. When the sun went down, you climbed a tree or found a sheltered spot and you stayed still. Moving at night meant becoming food. Our eyes are terrible in the dark compared to the predators that hunted us. Leopards, hyenas, wolves, all of them could see just fine. Fire changed that equation overnight, literally. A campfire creates a circle of safety roughly 30 feet in diameter. Inside that circle, predators won't come. Outside that circle, you die. This is not an exaggeration. Anthropologists studying modern hunter-gatherer groups have documented that people who wander away from the fire at night are significantly more likely to be killed by predators, even today. But here's what's fascinating. Fire didn't just protect humans at night. It gave them something they'd never had before: extra hours. Think about this. Before fire, the useful day ended at sunset. That's maybe 12 hours in summer, as few as 8 in winter. Fire suddenly added 2 to 4 usable hours to every single day. And over thousands of generations, those extra hours changed our species. Research into traditional Bushmen of the Kalahari Desert, one of the last groups on Earth still living something close to the original human lifestyle, revealed something striking. During the day, about 80% of conversations were practical: who's hunting where, which plants are ready, complaints, logistics, economic negotiations. Daytime talk was work, but at night, around the fire, the entire character of conversation changed. 81% of conversations were stories, tales of people in distant places, adventures, myths about the origins of the world, jokes that made the whole camp laugh. Firelight conversation is where human culture was born. The campfire was the original theater, the original classroom, the original church. It's where humans learned to think beyond the immediate present and imagine things that don't exist yet. It's where we became us. But the night wasn't just about stories around the fire. There was something else happening, something that science only fully uncovered recently. You were not designed to sleep the way you sleep right now. Historical research spanning centuries, diving through court records, diaries, medical texts, and literature, uncovered something nobody expected. People did not sleep in one continuous block. They went to bed shortly after sunset, slept for about 4 hours, then woke up. They stayed awake for 1 to 2 hours in the middle of the night. Then they went back to sleep for another 4 hours until dawn. This wasn't insomnia. This was normal. This was how every human on the planet slept for thousands of years. And what did people do during that wakeful period in the middle of the night? Everything. Couples conceived children during this window. People visited neighbors. They interpreted dreams while they were still fresh. They wrote or simply lay in bed in the dark and thought. Medical manuals from centuries ago advised patients that the best time to study and reflect was during the quiet hours between first and second sleep, when the mind was calm and the world was still. For the longest time, translators mistranslated historical texts because they couldn't imagine that people ever slept differently than we do now. But then science confirmed what history had been saying all along.
Controlled experiments where volunteers were removed from artificial light showed that within weeks, every single participant naturally settled into the same pattern: 4 hours of sleep, 1 to 3 hours of quiet wakefulness, then 4 more hours of sleep. Their bodies just did it, as if some ancient program had been waiting inside them the whole time. Hormone measurements during the wakeful period showed that participants were in a state of elevated prolactin, the same hormone released during deep meditation. It was its own distinct state of consciousness, one that most modern humans on Ogga have never experienced. So what killed it? The answer is simpler than you'd think: light. In the 1600s, cities began installing street lamps to reduce crime. Then came cheaper candles, gas lamps, and in 1879, Thomas Edison commercialized the electric light bulb. Within a generation, the night as humans had known it for 300,000 years was gone. And here's the part nobody talks about. The word curfew comes from the French couvre-feu, meaning cover fire. In medieval towns, a bell would ring at night signaling everyone to extinguish their fires, because night was supposed to be dark, vulnerable, and dangerous. Walking outside at night without a lantern was often illegal. People feared the night. And then we conquered it. We flooded it with light, and we thought that was progress. But here's what we lost. Modern humans are exposed to artificial light hours after sunset. This light, especially blue light from screens, suppresses your body's production of melatonin. Your brain interprets it as daytime. It delays melatonin release, fragments your sleep, and disrupts the circadian rhythm that evolved over millions of years. Research shows that spending just 1 week camping with no artificial light resets melatonin cycles by nearly 2 hours. That's all it takes for 300,000 years of programming to reassert itself. We didn't just change when we sleep, we eliminated an entire phase of human consciousness. That quiet, reflective state between first and second sleep doesn't exist anymore for most people. Instead, we have insomnia, and we treat it like a disorder. But what if waking up at 2 a.m. and lying there in the dark isn't your body malfunctioning? What if your body remembered what it was built to do? For 300,000 years, your ancestors spent their nights in a rhythm that modern science is only beginning to understand. They gathered around fires and told stories that built civilizations. They slept in 2 phases, with a window of quiet reflection in between. They lived in darkness so complete that the Milky Way was just the sky. And every night when they woke in the dark, they lay there in silence and thought about their lives, their dreams, and the world they would wake up to in the morning. We traded all of that for a light switch, and most of us never even knew it was gone.